our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. With all of our voices and all of our visions, with all of our voices and all of our visions, sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. Sisters, we can make such. Sisters, we can make such sweet harmony. 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 Sisters, we can make such sweet harmony.
Hello and good morning. I am Bruce Langston, and I am happy and excited to have my first opportunity to be worship associate for an online service. And I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North Congregation, which we call UUMAN. A liberal religious community, UUMAN is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. UUMAN's mission, in 9 words and 3 bullets, as I like to say, is nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. And our vision is UUMAN is a vital and visible community for all, bravely working towards the day when social, economic, and environmental justice are a reality. Back in January, you might have seen an email from Reverend Dave to UUMAN Announcements announcing that he would be hosting an online course called Trans Inclusion in Congregation. Today's service is a reflection from those of us who attended the class and or have a significant personal stake in the topic. So let us prepare for worship, quieting ourselves. Be here now, in this virtual space with each other, remembering that we are a part of the vast interconnected web of creation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are from, and wherever you are on your life or spiritual journey, you are welcome here. After the service, please join us for an online virtual coffee hour with conversation. Somebody will post a link in the chat at the end of the service.
This morning, we welcome all of who you are, the full spectrum of hopefulness, the full spectrum of health, the full spectrum of gender, color, and class, the full spectrum of everything you are. Each and every part of what makes you, you, is what we're welcoming here today. We especially welcome all of you who are on a path that is outside the lines drawn around the dominant culture. We know that we are probably not everything that you need or want in a church congregation. We hope you will trust that our hearts are good and that we are willing to learn and we especially look forward to knowing the person that you truly are, and that you will offer us the grace of time in living into our vision of being a vital and visible community for all, and that we do that together. Come, let us worship.
Hi everyone, it's James, and I'm joined today by Gabe and Melody to light the chalice. For me, and people like me, sometimes finding a place where we not only feel safe, but comfortable enough to belong can be difficult. When so many in the world reduce you to nothing more than a political statement or trend at best, and at worst, a sickness or plague, something to be eradicated, something as simple as introducing yourself can cause anxiety. That's why finding a place where we are welcomed, where our voices can be heard, and more importantly, where we can find our place without having to mask or change any part of ourselves can be life-changing. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about what we can do as a community to provide that place at UUMAN. So please join me as I light the chalice and opening our hearts and our heads so we can grow together as a community and as individuals.
A prayer for Mother's Day. For all the mothers who receive breakfast in bed and homemade gifts from little shining faces, may your day be filled with laughter and joy. For those who receive calls or cards from your fledglings, may your heart swell with pride. For those who mother adult children who may or may not have found their way, who worry about bad choices or mental illness or difficult circumstances, may you enjoy a day free of worry and crisis. For those who tend to mothers of their own, aging in a home that now does not allow visitors, for those whose mothers are far away and the source of a steady background buzz of worry about failing memory, failing health, or failing finances, may your mothers be well. For those who have wished to be mothers and are not, or who are mothers to children no longer living, who carry in their lives the pain of absence, may you know you are not alone, and may you find comfort in those who are present. For those who had mothers who were uncaring or cruel, who had to find mothering as best they could outside their family, may your present abundance soothe the heart of the child within. For those who were expected to become fathers, but are now or hope to be mothers, may your children be blessed by your mother's heart. For all these and more, I wish a happy Mother's Day. And if not happy, then peaceful. And if not peaceful, then tolerable. And if Mother's Day is hard even to tolerate, I wish you a Mother's Day in this community of love, where you can be held through whatever it is that you're feeling. Amen.
Dave recently offered a class on transgender inclusion in congregations. I want to thank Dave and UUMAN for purchasing this first-rate class that we can now all attend. I also want to thank our video facilitators and longtime UUs, Reverend Michael Slack and Alex Capitan, for offering us a window into the lives of those who are experiencing life being transgender. The materials they shared were solid, current, and invitational. Michael and Alex invited us to see beyond the male-female dominant paradigm, to have compassion for those walking a transgender path, and to up our game of welcome. We were invited to think beyond appropriate bathrooms to the very core of the culture present at UUMAN. I would recommend it to everyone here when it is offered again. Meanwhile, I hope the vignettes that we offer today can give some impression of what we learned, and also a slice of what being transgender is from people you know and love. The biggest thing I learned is that gender is not a binary notion. It's a spectrum, non-dual, like most everything. I've opened my mind in knowing that gender is not just two boxes with exceptions outside them, but that the experience of gender happens from the inside out and from the outside in, and can be many combinations that are valid and varied. These are people who want to be the people that they truly are. Isn't that what everyone wants? It's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to forgive ourselves and open ourselves to new knowledge, even on this very day.
The invitation Reverend Dave sent about trans inclusion in congregations course asked several questions, including, what barriers do trans people and trans people of color face? Are we as welcoming as we can be? Might there be a nuance to welcoming? And what might be the difference between invitation, inclusion, and radical welcome? My first thought was interesting. But what I really thought about was when I came to UUMAN for the first time, I didn't recall what the service or the sermon was about. But I liked what seemed to be a free exchange of ideas and those 7 principles. I felt welcome, comfortable, and at home at UUMAN immediately. That was almost 25 years ago. I've learned a lot about myself, grown a lot, and am thrilled to see people become members at UUMAN, especially if I remember greeting them their first time through the door or purposely seeking them out after the service and starting a conversation. UUMAN, I realize, is a wonderful place for a cis white male upper middle class person such as me. Over the 25 years I've been attending UUMAN, I've often wondered, how can we be more welcoming to the marginalized? I've been mindful at UUMAN to make it so. As a worship associate and a member for almost 24 years, I have some influence. I try to be aware of the cultural biases in my contributions and my constructive criticisms to others. I've served on various committees, but I know I can't shake the nagging feeling that it's not enough. When we lost a lot of members last summer, I wondered, what could I have done differently? In the course, the instructors, Alex Capitan and Michael Slack, both UU religious professionals, did a really good job writing, compiling, editing, and presenting the content. One of the supplemental texts, Invitation versus Inclusion versus Radical Welcome of Trans People in Congregations, was prepared by Alex and Michael and based on work by the Reverend Canon Stephanie Spellers, author of Radical Welcome. In the paper, they posit 3 types of congregations. First is the invitation congregation. They suggest that in an invitation congregation, transgender people are invited in, but the community is not fully prepared for their presence. Second is the inclusion congregation. Such congregations make some effort to incorporate trans non-binary people and their needs, but only in ways that don't concretely change the existing culture of the congregation, and often because trans people or their family members are pushing for it. Third is the radical welcoming congregation, where trans non-binary people and their families are fully valued as an integrated part of the congregation. Their needs and experiences are centered in a way that transforms the community as a whole and creates more liberation for all people from gender-based oppression. Which congregation are we? Which do we want to be? How welcoming will UUMAN become? Now is the time in the service when the love that binds us together is spoken aloud. Jill Brooks asked that I drop a pebble for her. Her Aunt Barbara Hall passed away May 3rd from various health conditions that have been plaguing her for the last few years, non-COVID related. Jill would like us to send love and light to her 3 cousins, to Aunt Barbara's 3 kids, because they lost their father a few years ago and now their mother and are having a difficult time. And I'll drop another pebble for those joys and sorrows not shared. May we keep each other in our hearts until we're together again.
Hi, my name is Alex Peach, and my pronouns are he, his, and him. I'll tell you why that matters. That helps me feel more comfortable in my own skin, in my own being of who I am. It's a great conversation starter, and just to say, you know, if you as a trans person are introducing yourself to someone, you can just introduce it like I just did. Hi, my name is Alex, pronouns he, him, and his. Now, if you come up to a person and you're not sure what gender or whatever, and now today's is even harder because it's like you can't judge a book by its cover type thing. You can say what your name is and what your pronouns are. Pronouns are a big thing, but there's more to it than that. There's a sense of not belonging, not fitting in, not fitting in, like you're in the wrong puzzle, like you're the wrong piece. It started about, I'll start you on my journey at 15 years old. I'm 15 years old, and I'm just starting to fill in my boxes of forms at any place you were required forms. What did the forms have on them? Mr., Mrs., and maybe if you're lucky, Miss. Well, you see, even at that age, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what box to check. I didn't check a box. The boxes, I wasn't that. I weren't those boxes. So I'd put an X somewhere in between. Little move to one side if I was feeling more feminine, or moving towards the Mr. a little bit if I felt more masculine that day. There again, that's hard. It's hard stuff. It's emotional. It makes me angry. It makes me sad. We go into restaurants and it's like, hi, ladies, can I take your order? The server says. And I'm like, depending on the day, I go, no, there's one lady, her name is Karen, and I'm Alex. That's how I introduce it. Not always that way, but sometimes I just say, there's one he, my pronoun is he, him, his. It's not just about the pronouns. It's about the challenges you face every single day. Going into bathrooms is another big deal. No matter which bathroom I go in, inevitably I get the, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong bathroom. Next, I'll have to have buttons, like a lot of buttons. And the buttons is a form of communication, but I just try to laugh and lighten things up. In high school, I was out, if you want to say out. And then through college, I just continued my life and didn't really talk about my relationships and didn't reveal my relationships or anything about them. So I couldn't be put into that box of, oh, you're with whatever, oh, and you're a lesbian, you're a this, you're a girl, you're a boy. But it's even when I get up in the morning and what I'm going to put on. Because what's that? How are people going to see that? How do they know? The pronoun buttons that you have, that you see around he, his, she, her, that helps. But it doesn't talk about the emotional part. It's a struggle. There's a level of acceptance of myself. There's a level of tolerance within the world. There's the emotional part of it. There's so many pieces. But I want to say, you know what? I'm Alex, and this is me. Namaste.
Look at me, I will never pass for a perfect bride or a perfect daughter. Can it be I'm not meant to play this part? Now I see that if I were truly to be myself, it would break my family's heart. Who is this girl I see staring straight back at me? Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Somehow I cannot hide who I am, though I've tried. When will my reflection show my authentic side? When will my reflection show who I am inside?
The trans inclusion class provided a profound aha moment for me during the discussion that compared cultures to icebergs. Above the surface, culture is about dress, holidays, arts, symbols, and rites of passage. Below the surface, culture is about norms, assumptions, beliefs, and values. For UU culture, you'll find the chalice, coming of age, Sunday morning worship, and joys and sorrows above the surface. Below the surface, you'll find less obvious aspects of UU culture. For example, UUs are expected to donate money to the church because UUs are generally financially stable. And UU leadership is hierarchical, with a few individuals making decisions for the congregation. For the trans community, you'll find the trans flag, pronoun changes, gender fluidity, and pride above the surface. Below the surface, you'll find financial insecurity that may not allow donating money to the church. You'll find the community-based problem-solving approach that may not be served by UU's hierarchical approach. The aha moment came when it was explained that people who are outside of culture are acutely aware of what's below the surface, even more so than those that are part of the culture. And therein lies the rub. You may think that bathroom access, pronouns, and being an inviting community is enough. Yes, all of that is necessary, but the differences beneath the surface can drive away people from marginalized cultures like the trans community. Imagine what it would be like if we addressed the entire iceberg, not just the part that's above water. If we would ask how we might be a radically welcoming congregation instead of merely inviting.
After I took this course, I changed my mind about what a welcoming congregation is. Before this, I thought that being a welcoming congregation was all about hospitality to newcomers. It was about shaking their hand. It was about telling them that I was glad they were here. It was about giving them information that they needed about programming and our offerings so that they could assimilate quickly. It was introducing them to people that I thought they had things in common with. But after this course, I think that being a welcoming congregation means giving everyone a spot at the table. It means voluntarily giving up influence and even power to share with everyone in the congregation so that we can be enriched by differing points of view. I think it's hard work, and I think for churches that get it right, it can be transforming.
UUMAN's ways and means have changed in recent months, but we still need and thankfully welcome our members' time, treasure, and talent. If you feel so moved, contribute at givelify.com or use the app. It's probably on your phone. Now is a great time.
And now I will extinguish the chalice.
We are all steeped in the prejudices of our society and our upbringing. We can be gentle with ourselves when we feel discomfort at something unfamiliar, and we can forgive ourselves for the missteps we made in the past. But going forward, it's up to us to build a community of inclusion and welcome. Let us take to heart the words of Hope Johnson. Listen, light the way, make decisions, commit, take risks, fail forward, build community, nurture meaningful relationships, be real, give thanks, invest in someone or something you believe in, live, love, dream big, be transformed, change the world, lead, and keep your dreams alive. Thank you for being here this week. Have a good week.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together,